Well, all eyes will be on this one as well. Tuhin Kanta Pandey, the new SEBI Chief. Ashvin Parekh as well joins in on the show right now. We've got Shailesh, Haribhakti too on the show with us. Gentlemen, morning. Good to have you both on the show. And Ashvin, like we were discussing, who better than Tuhin Kanta Pandey with his track record to actually be at the helm as the market regulator now?
True, absolutely. I mean, the kind of experience that he brings to this position, is absolutely going to be very important. A few things I would observe. I mean, when he's coming in into sort of, a position where there's a lot of expectation, from every quarter, every stakeholder associated with the markets. I mean, on one side, you have a large number of retail investors who are suffering at the moment on account of the market kind of bearish conditions. On the other hand, you have intermediaries who are also suffering on account of the overhang of regulations. I mean, the regulations for the intermediaries in the last 3 years have really sort of, been a little onerous, I must admit. And then, of course, the third stakeholder, the most critical one is, of course, the players such as mutual funds as well. So all the stakeholders have now huge expectations, In the midst of that, the policy that SEBI has created of public consultation is an interesting one, which means that, Mr. Pandey, when he brings in a huge amount of experience, both of the market as Deepam sort of, chair, and then now as finance secretary as well, I mean, from the revenue side. Certainly, I mean, I would certainly believe that he would rationalize. He would try and come in and look at the difficulties that the stakeholders are facing. That's one part. The second part is, if you will observe, I think a lot of new changes have happened on account of sort of somebody, I mean, either from the intermediary group or from the mutual fund group, or going wrong on compliance. And one bad apple sort of, will create a lot of additional regulations. So there has actually been an overhang of regulations, some bit of regularization or deregularization, sort of, and rationalization is really called for. In the midst of that, therefore, I would say, Mr. Pandey comes in, I mean, the most appropriate choice. He comes in with a lot of work to be done.
Shailesh bhai, good morning.
Good morning.
Very few individuals can perhaps have this entire, dual experience. They know how the government policy making and bureaucracy works, and they also know how markets work. I mean, very few people perhaps have experience of both in India.
Correct. And what a fantastic context has been created for him. As my friend Ashvin said, and I double click on that, there is need for a little bit of slowing down on the intensity of regulation. That is very, very clear. And he brings that kind of overall perspective to the table. But most importantly, the center and the state will have to push through a fair amount of capital market activity during the next few years. And that is where his experience at Deepam and the DP and his experience as finance secretary, he has been so close to the budget making. This time, if you would have noticed, there was a complete lack of emphasis on disinvestment. And that is when the climate and the atmosphere will be created to actually go all out, finish the IDBI situation, get more and more of the disinvestment done. And particularly at the state government level, I see this activity becoming much more enhanced because there's no other way that the state governments can make their balanced budget or their reasonable deficit happen other than monetization of their assets and therefore capital market action and the disinvestment of some of the state PSUs. So it's a fantastic choice. I welcome him to SEBI's chairman's position, and I look forward to a fantastic next few years.
All right. Gentlemen, really appreciate your time. Shailesh bhai, Ashvin bhai, always a pleasure to have you on ET Now. Thank you for joining us.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.